Havana, Sakrade.
In the beginning was the Word, and do you have the Word? Ladies and gentlemen, Bible kweba, Bible no le. One side there, oh yeah, Gavim, other side there, oh yeah, bluff. Walk on your bluff and go on a call Lucia, Kote Gamate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something I highly recommend. Please come to the Bible Society's bookshop, and I guarantee you, you're not only going to get the best Bible, but you can also get a Bible that you will understand. Understanding is important. My name is Reverend Azigiza, and I look forward to seeing you. Anyway, this is my praise the Lord.
Our mission is to make God's word available, affordable, and encouraging.
That time of the day when you're just settling in. You know, mid-morning, brunch time. You know your day is going to be just amazing once you're tuned in to your number one Christian radio, Sweet Melodies 94.3 FM. It's toe-tapping Sweet Melodies. Just the right groove and great vibes for your morning. Tune in from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. every weekday on Sweet Melodies FM 94.3. Make a date. Toe-tapping Sweet Melodies. Music so sweet, you can't help but tap your feet.
Welcome to
Hello and welcome to the 2024 Interchurch Bible Quiz, University for Development Studies, Nyampala Campus, brought to you by the National Bible Quiz Project, the Bible Society of Ghana, and the Student Christian Council, UDS-NYC. Today is the grand finale of the UDS-NYC Championship and is between NUPS-G, NUBS, and GHAMSU. Our finalists overcame various hurdles in the semi-finals to make it here, but unfortunately, we have to crown only one of them as our champion. Who is winning it? Is it going to be NUPS-G?
Oh, yes.
Is it going to be NUPS? Yes. Or is it going to be GHAMSU? Oh, yes. I like the sound of that. Okay, we will soon find out, but I can promise you a very exciting contest. I want you to share the link to all your handles and with all your friends as we take off on this intriguing journey into the scriptures. We'll begin by letting our contesting teams introduce themselves to us. We'll start with you, NUPS-G.
My name is Naporo Samson.
I'm Thomas Kofi Doken.
Okay, thank you, NUPS-G. How are you feeling being here right now?
Okay, as you can see, the sitting arrangement that is how it's going to be.
Oh, okay, the sitting arrangement, that is how it's going to be. Interesting. I'll ask you one last question. I want to know what you know about the Bible Society of Ghana and their most recent activities.
Okay, so the Bible Society of Ghana is a Bible company that supplies the correct Bible with versions, every version that you want.
Okay. Thank you, NUPS-G. NUBS, please introduce yourselves. Tell us how you are feeling at the moment. And also tell us what you know about the Bible Society of Ghana and their most recent activities.
Sebedon Kogidien. Israel Mascodi. Well, we feel excited being at this level. And we are hoping for the best.
Hoping for the best.
Yes.
Okay.
And about the Bible Society of Ghana, I think I have gotten in contact with, let's say, some of them because they distributed some Bibles to my school. That's just some time ago. So that's how I got to realize.
Know about them. Right. So the Bible Society of Ghana provided free Bibles. That's amazing. GHAMSU, please introduce yourselves. Tell us how you are feeling and tell us what you know about the Bible Society of Ghana.
I'm Peter Bangnembigiri.
I am Henry Nanakusi.
Well, with the Bible Society, I think for the past 4 years now, 2020 till now, it has taken the mandate to bring us to the understanding of scriptures as students. And I think this is an extension to the whole nation, and we are also privileged to be part of it today. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. So those were interesting information about Bible Society of Ghana. And so Bible Society of Ghana mostly translates the Bible from the English to our local languages. And that is very interesting. Their work is very expensive. It is very expensive to translate a verse in the Bible. I believe it's $200 per verse. And so whenever you are able to support in whatever means, please try and reach out to them and support them. Thank you. Before we begin the contest, I want us to acknowledge our sponsors for this championship. We have Sweet Music Pro Audio, Ghana's leading musical instrument store, Fortune Ghana, manufacturers of Fortune Margarine and Spread, Jamar, manufacturers of Jamar Soap, and our media partners, Sweet Melody FM and Pen TV. My name is Janet Dansoa, and I'm your quiz mistress. Now to the contestants. This contest will come to you in 4 rounds. Round 1, here are the rules. Most questions in this round require simple, straightforward answers. Some questions may require some explanations or more detailed answers. You have 10 seconds to answer your major question, and your answer must be 1 attempt only, meaning that you cannot start one answer and change it to start another. If a team fails to answer their main question, I may pass the question on for a bonus to the remaining teams. The first team to ring their bell will have the opportunity to answer. Let's hear your bells, please. NUPS-G. Thank you. NUPS. Okay. GHAMSU. Thank you. Please note, a correct answer to a main question is worth 3 points. A correct answer to a bonus question is worth 1 point. A wrong answer to a bonus question will cost you a deduction of 1 point. Remember that this is a grand finale. Precision and accuracy will not be compromised. Best wishes to all teams. NUBS-G, your question. Now, preamble to all teams, listen carefully. On 2 different occasions in the Gospels, Jesus fed multitudes. NUBS-G, mention any 3 similarities you can find between the 2 events.
Okay, so the 2 events, the similarities is Jesus fed many people with few bread and then fishes. And then the second one is after the feeding, he led the disciples to go to Bethsaida. And the third one is
I'll give you 1 point. NUPS, mention any 2 differences you can find between the 2 events.
With the first one, Jesus fed 5,000 people with 5 loaves of bread and 2 fish, of which 12 baskets was left over. And the second one, he fed 4,000 people with 7 loaves of bread and a few fish, of which 7 baskets was left over.
That's correct. GHAMSU, mention any 2 other differences not already mentioned.
For the 4,000, there were 7 baskets left. For the 5,000, there were 12 baskets left. For the 4,000, it was 5 loaves of bread. And for the 4,000, there was no fish.
I'm sorry, that's incorrect. Okay, so the right answer is that one involved 5,000 men and the other 4,000 men. You could also have said the 5,000 sits with a Jewish environment, while the 4,000 features a Gentile setting. Okay. NUBS-G, your question. Where exactly did Abraham settle after Lot departed from him?
Abraham settled at Mama or Hebron.
That's correct. So he settled in the plains of Mamre in Hebron. Okay, thank you. NUBS, what is the name of the location of the battle of 4 kings against 5 recorded in the book of Genesis? What is the name of the location of the battle of 4 kings against 5 recorded in the book of Genesis? Yes, NUPS-G.
Valley of Shittim.
That's correct. GHAMSU, your question. What key description did the Bible give the floor of the Valley of Shittim?
Slime pits.
That's correct. Preamble to all teams, listen carefully. I am going to read some portions of the Bible, and you are to tell me which book and chapter I am reading from. Verses are not required. Book and chapter are enough. NUPS-G. Oh, that my words were written. Oh, that they were inscribed in a book. For I know that my Redeemer lives, and he shall stand at last on the earth. Bonus. So the answer is Job chapter 19. Okay. NUBS, your question. A wise king sifts out the wicked and brings the threshing wheel over them. The spirit of a man is the lamp of the Lord, searching all the inner depths of his heart.
Job 36.
Please speak into the microphone. I'm sorry, you've been bailed out. So the answer is Proverbs chapter 20. GHAMSU, your question. I said, age should speak, and multitude of years should teach wisdom, but there is a spirit in man, and the breath of the Almighty gives him understanding.
Job chapter 32.
That's correct. NUPS-G, your question. In Romans chapter 1, Paul talked about a generation who were given up by God to practice the uncleanness and the abominable desires of their hearts with their bodies. Mention any 3 descriptions Paul gave of this generation which brought them to the point where God gave them over. Bonus. Yes, GHAMSU.
There was immorality. Men were lusting after their own men, and women lusting after their own men, and they were using images to worship God.
It's a bonus question, so I cannot accept it. Okay. So the answers I was expecting. They were unthankful. They knew God, but did not glorify him as God. Also, they became futile in their thoughts, and their foolish hearts were darkened. They changed the glory of the incorruptible God, which you got correct, all right. And then they professed to be wise, but they became fools. NUPS, your question. Okay. In 1 Corinthians chapter 2, Paul described in a number of ways the kind of preaching he employed so that his hearers would have their faith established in the word of God and not in the wisdom of men. Mention any 3 descriptions he gave of that kind of preaching. Okay. So the correct answers. He did not use excellence of speech or wisdom in declaring to them the testimony of God. He determined not to know anything among them except Jesus Christ and him crucified. He was with them in weakness, in fear, and in much trembling. And the last answer. With reference to Galatians chapter 4, explain what happened to an heir
As long as an heir is still a child. No, it describes that as long as you are still a
Okay, so the kingdom of God is likening to a man who planted a vineyard, and when it was time for harvest, he went, and then the vineyard has not given fruit. So he told his servants to cut it off, and then the servant told him to wait for a year, and so that he will hedge about it and dig well for it, so that it will bear fruit in the next year.
Okay. The parable of the pearl of great price. The kingdom of God is likened to it in a way. A man was looking for a pearl, and when he found it, he sold all that he had and went and bought for it.
Okay. GHAMSU, your question. What is the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector?
Okay, the parable of the Pharisee and the tax collector describe of a time when the Pharisee and the tax collector went to the temple to pray. And the Pharisee stood by himself, said he was thanking God for the fact that he fasts, he paid tithe, he goes to church, he does all church activities. But the Pharisee was on the other side. He wouldn't dare look up unto God. He bowed on the altar and asked that God should have mercy for his sins. And Jesus said at the end, the Pharisee went home justified. No, the tax collector went home justified instead of the Pharisee.
That's correct. NUPS-G, at what point did John, also called Mark, join Paul and Barnabas? Okay, I'll take the question again. At what point did John, also called Mark, join Paul and Barnabas?
Joppa.
That's incorrect. Yes, GHAMSU.
He joined them when there was a disagreement between Paul and Barnabas, and so he followed Barnabas, and then Paul also went with Silas.
No, that's not precise enough. Incorrect. Okay. So he joined them when they were returning from Jerusalem after sending relief items to the Jerusalem church from Antioch. NUPS. At which place did John Mark depart Paul and Barnabas?
Pamphylia.
That's correct. GHAMSU. At which place did Paul and Barnabas separate company because of a division over John Mark?
Jerusalem.
That's incorrect. Bonus. Okay, the right answer is Antioch. NUPS-G. Now, preamble to all teams, listen carefully. In Numbers chapter 1, the Lord instructed the people of Israel to take a census. NUPS-G. Mention 3 qualifications that were required for anyone to be part of the census.
Okay, so the person should be 20 years and he should be qualified for war. And also, the person should not be a Levite. And
that's correct. NUBS. With reference to the days Israel left Egypt on the Exodus, state the exact date on which this census took place. Yes, NUPS-G.
So the first day, the first month of the second year.
That's incorrect.
In the third month.
That's incorrect. So NUPS-G, you were close. The first day of the second month of the second year. GHAMSU, your question. Mention the names of the 3 tribes which had the highest numbers after the census.
Judah, Dan, Simeon.
That's correct. NUPS-G, your question. Aside from the blood, which parts of a bird being offered as a burnt offering were excluded from the burning on the altar? Bonus. Okay, so the crop and the feathers was excluded. NUPS. Which portions of the animal of the peace offering was given to the priest?
The breast.
I'll give you one. Okay, so you had the breast correct. The other answer is the right thigh. Okay. GHAMSU, your question. Apart from birds, mention 3 animals that could be offered in a trespass or guilt offering. Bonus. Okay, so the answer, a female sheep, a female goat, a ram or male sheep. Preamble to all teams, listen carefully. The following passage is an extract from Judges chapter 6. Fill in the blank spaces to complete the passage. NUPS-G. Now, the dash came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Dash, which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the dash. Okay, now the angel of the Lord came and sat under the terebinth tree, which was in Ophrah, which belonged to Joash the Abiezrite, while his son Gideon threshed wheat in the winepress in order to hide it from the Midianites. NUBS. I continue with the passage. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, Dash. Gideon said to him, "O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And where are Dash?" Saying Dash, but now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites. Okay, so the right answer. And the angel of the Lord appeared to him and said to him, "The Lord is with you, you mighty man of valor." Gideon said to him, "O my Lord, if the Lord is with us, why then has all this happened to us? And where are all his miracles which our fathers told us about, saying, did not the Lord bring us from Egypt? But now the Lord has forsaken us and delivered us into the hands of the Midianites." GHAMSU, your question. I continue with the passage. Then the Lord turned to him and said, "Dash, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites." Dash. So he said to him, "O my Lord, how can I save Israel? Indeed, my clan is the Dash, and I am the least in my father's house."
And he said, "Go, for you shall save them from their trouble. My clan is the least. My clan is of Benjamin, and I am the least of all."
That's incorrect. So then the Lord turned to him and said, "Go in this might of yours, and you shall save Israel from the hand of the Midianites. Have I not sent you?" So he said to him, "O my Lord, how can I save Israel? Indeed, my clan is the weakest in Manasseh, and I am the least in my father's house." Okay, NUPS-G, your question. In the first war during the days of Samuel, the Philistines got a sweet victory over Israel. Mention any 3 highlights of their victory. Bonus? Okay. So the answer. The Israelites fled before them is 1. They killed about 4,000 men of the army in the field on the first day of the battle, and 30,000 foot soldiers subsequently. Another answer could have been they defeated Israel, even though the ark of the Lord was in their midst. Or they captured the ark of the Lord.
Visit www.sweet-music.com
question. In the first war during the days of Samuel, the Philistines got a sweet... Oh, sorry. That was NUPS-G's question. Now, NUPS, your major question. Indicates the following about Eli at the time he heard of the death of his sons. A, his physical condition. B, his physical position. C, his age.
With his physical position, he felt at the back of the chair he was sitting on, and with his physical, the first one was what?
Come again, physical condition.
Bonus. Okay. So his physical condition, his eyes were dim and could not see. His physical position, he was sitting on a seat by the wayside. His age, he was 98 years old. GHAMSU, your question. How exactly did Prophet Eli died? How exactly did Prophet Eli die?
He fell with his back and he broke his neck when he heard the bad news about the loss of the battle.
I'll give you one. So I wanted you to start from where the man of Benjamin who ran from the battleground to come and deliver the news. So he ran in the battle between the Israel and the Philistines, came to tell Eli of what had befallen Israel, which news had already caused an outcry in the city. Then the second answer comes, which while telling Eli of the happenings, the moment he mentioned that the ark of the Lord had been captured, Eli fell off the seat backward by the side of the gate, and his neck was broken, and he died. Last set for this round, NUPS-G. In the space of 40 seconds, quote in full 2 verses each from Deuteronomy, Romans, and 1 Thessalonians. So your time is up. NUBS. In the space of 40 seconds, quote in full 2 verses each from Joshua, Judges, and 1 Corinthians. Please speak into the microphone.
Joshua chapter 1 verse 1. Joshua, the son of Nun. And what again? Judges. And the last book of I didn't hear the last book. And 1 Corinthians chapter 3 verse 17.
So your time is up. GHAMSU. In the space of 40 seconds, quotes in full 2 verses from Ruth, 1 Samuel, and 2 Corinthians.
First Samuel chapter 3 verse 1. In the days when Eli was the priest, Samuel was in the temple and he was ministering, and there was no open versions.
That's incorrect. Okay. And that brings us to the end of round 1.
That time of the day when you're just settling in. You know, mid-morning, brunch time. You know your day is going to be just amazing once you're tuned in to your number 1 Christian radio, Sweet Melodies 94.3 FM. It's toe-tapping Sweet Melodies. Just the right groove and great vibes for your morning. Tune in from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. every weekday on Sweet Melodies FM 94.3. Make a date. Toe-tapping Sweet Melodies. Music so sweet, you can't help but tap your feet.
In the beginning was the Word, and do you have the Word? Ladies and gentlemen, Bible kweba, Bible no le, one side there or your gagemo, other side there or your bluff, walk on your bluff and which on a call Lucia, Kote Gamate. Ladies and gentlemen, this is something I highly recommend. Please come to the Bible Society's bookshop, and I guarantee you, you're not only going to get the best Bible, but you can also get a Bible that you will understand. Understanding is important. My name is Reverend Azigiza, and I look forward to seeing you. Anyway, this is my praise the Lord.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of round 1, here are the results. NUPS-G had 10 points. NUBS had 10 points. GHAMSU had 13 points. Round 2. The speed race. Every question goes to all teams, and you must always be the first to answer. If you believe you have an answer, you must ring the bell to be called. Shall we hear your bell? Okay, NUPS-G. Okay, thank you. By the time you ring the bell, you must be ready with your answer, else the next team to have rung will be given the opportunity to answer. Correct answer if you were the first to ring, 3 points. Correct answer if you were the second to ring, 2 points. Correct answer if you were the third to ring, 1 point. Every incorrect answer, -1. You are not obliged to ring the bell if you are not sure of the answer. Again, This is the grand finale. Precision and accuracy will not be compromised. Best wishes to all teams. First question. One of the wells dug by Abraham was seized by Abimelech's people. How did Abraham?
So Abraham sent seven rams to Abimelech in order to redeem his wells he has taken. And he named the well Beersheba, meaning well of oaths.
Please take it again. There's a word you said, I want to hear it again.
Okay, so at that place, Abraham sent 7 rams.
Okay, that's incorrect. I'm sorry, that's incorrect. So, I'm continuing with the question. How did Abraham establish his witness that he was the one who dug the well? Yes, GHAMSU.
He gave 7 rams and 2 arrows to the Abimelech, the king of Gerar.
No, that's incorrect. Okay. So the right answer is not 7 rams, but rather 7 ewe lambs to Abimelech and asked him to take them from his hand as a witness that he had dug that well. Next question. The angel that appeared to Mary concerning the conception of Jesus gave 4 names of the child that Mary was going to bear. Mention any 3 of the names. Yes, GHAMSU.
Jesus, Emmanuel.
I'm sorry, this is a speed race, no partial marks. Okay, so Jesus is 1, the Son of the Highest, the Holy One, and the Son of God. Okay, next question. Explain why Boaz favored Ruth in many ways the first time he met Ruth in his field. Yes, Nuji.
Because he has seen Ruth working with Naomi in his how she is helping Naomi in the field, in his house, in her house.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that. GHAMSU.
She has seen that Ruth was working with diligence.
I'm sorry, I cannot accept that either. So it wasn't that he had seen by himself at that point. It had been fully reported to him. All that Ruth did for her mother-in-law since the death of her husband, and how she left her father and mother and the land of her birth to come to a people she did not know before. Next question. What is the difference between Beersheba and Bathsheba? Let me take it again. What is the difference between Beersheba, Beersheba, and Bathsheba, Bathsheba? Yes, NUBS.
Okay, Beersheba is a well of oats, whilst Bathsheba is the mother of Solomon.
I'll not accept it.
Are you talking about the difference in the meaning, or is it different? Is it just a difference?
Okay. So Beersheba is not a well. Beersheba was a city in ancient Israel, in the southern part of the land, which marked the southernmost boundary of cultivated land in Israel. And Bathsheba was the wife of Uriah the Hittite, who was taken by King David and later became his wife after her husband's death was masterminded by the king. Okay. Next question. In Ephesians chapter 1, verses 15 to 20, Paul narrates several prayer points he had been praying for the church in Ephesus. Mention any 3 of them. Okay. So that God will grant the spirit of wisdom and for revelation in the knowledge of him is one. That the eyes of the understanding will be enlightened is another. That they may know the hope of his calling is also another. That they may know the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the saints is also another. Next question. In Capernaum, a man ran to Jesus and pleaded with him to heal his servant, who was paralyzed at home and dreadfully tormented. Who was this man? And yes, GHAMSU. GHAMSU.
That was the centurion. And then the centurion came to Jesus and said, my servant is sick, but then I am a man with authority. I say to a man, go, and I tell men to come. And so I am not worthy that you come under the roof of my tent, but just say a word, and my servant will be healed. And Jesus said, I have not seen such faith in the whole of Israel, and because of this faith, your servant is healed.
I'll give it to you. Next question. How many provinces in total did King Ahasuerus reign over, and what was the span? Okay, so he reigned from India to Ethiopia and for 127 years. Okay, next question. What is the meaning of the Hebrew word chalak? Yes, NUPS-G.
Chalak means prosper.
That's correct. Okay. As exact as possible, quote the text in 1 Corinthians chapter 3, verse 11. Okay, for no other foundation can anyone lay than that which is laid, which is Christ Jesus. Next question. Where exactly was Rahab's house located at the time the spies from the camp of Israel entered her home? The answer, on the city wall. Next question. Mention 3 signs God gave Moses to show to the people of Israel. Also, they will believe that God had indeed appeared to him. And yes, NUBS.
Okay, the first sign was that God asked him to put his rod or his staff on the floor and it will turn into a serpent. And when he did, it turned into. And the second sign was that God asked him to put his hand into his cloth. And when he removed it, his hand became leprous. And the third sign was that God asked him to fetch some of their water and pour it on the floor. And when he did that, it turned into blood.
That's correct. Next question. What is the actual name of the place which the Amorites called Seni? Senir. Okay, the answer is Hermon. Next question. Narrate as exact as possible how Jesus executed the healing of the blind man in Mark chapter 8. Yes, NUBS-G.
Okay, so in Mark chapter 8, Jesus met a blind man. And when he met the blind man asked of him to heal him. So Jesus made spit with dust and he put it on the eyes of the blind man. And the blind man began to see.
No, that's incorrect. GHAMSU.
Now, in Mark chapter 8, when Jesus met the man and he said he wanted to see, Jesus took him out of his own village to a solitary place. Then he spat on the ground and he took the mortar and put it on the eyes. And he asked him whether he could see. He said he could see men like trees. And Jesus spat on the ground for the second time and touched his eyes. Then his eyes were clear and he said, now he can see.
No, I will not accept it. There's something I think you are all missing. He did not spit onto the ground. He spat on his eyes and laid hands on him. That is what is critical. Okay. Next question. In the early part of 2 Samuel, a supposed Gentile died a foolish death. Who was this man? And why could his death be deemed as foolish? Okay, so he was an Amalekite, the son of a stranger who was an Amalekite, and his death was foolish because he did not kill Saul, but came to tell that he had killed Saul, perhaps seeking glory in the eyes of David, and unfortunately David instructed his men to kill him for killing God's anointed. That was Saul. Next question. Which type of offering was required to be seasoned with salt? It could be meat offering was correct, grain offering, or cereal offering. Next question. When Paul and Silas first arrived in Philippi, they had their own lodging place. How did they end up in the house of Lydia? Okay. So while lodging in Philippi, Paul and Silas went out of the city on the Sabbath day to the riverside, where prayer was customarily made. They sat down and spoke to the women they had met there. And then one of the women was Lydia, a seller of purple from the city of Thyatira, a worshipper of God. The Lord opened her heart to hear the things Paul had spoken about, and she and her household were subsequently baptized. Afterwards, Lydia persuaded them to come to her house and stay if they had judged her faithful to the Lord, and that was how they ended up in her house. Next question. Pick the odd one out and explain fully the reason for your choice. Jonathan, Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar. Yes, NUBS.
Jonathan. The rest of the three you're about to mention are friends of Job.
That's correct. Mention 3 indicators the priest used in examining whether a person was suffering from an old leprosy or not. Okay. The presence of a white swelling in the skin, the transformation of the hairs on the skin into white, and then the appearance of raw flesh in the swelling. Next question. The following sequence of places tell a story. Mention A, which story the sequence tells. And B, which book in the Bible this story is found? Arabia, Damascus, Jerusalem, Syria, Cilicia. Bear without, I'm sorry. So the answer is Paul's initial journeys as narrated by himself after he received his call from God, and it's found in the book of Galatians. Last set for this round. Mention any 3 notable differences between the Matthew and Luke accounts of the genealogy of Jesus. So Matthew traces Jesus from Abraham, Luke traces Jesus to Adam. And then another one is Matthew traces David through Solomon, Luke traces David through Nathan, another son of David. And then Luke has names not found in the Old Testament, unlike Matthew. And then Matthew's account is 42 generations, Luke's account is 77 generations. The last one is that Matthew has 27 generations from David to Joseph. Luke has 42. So either of these would have done. Okay. Last question for this round. Complete the following statements with precision and accuracy. Nehemiah chapter 8 verse 10. New King James Version says, "Then he said to them, go your way." Okay. Then he said to them, "Go your way, eat the fat, drink the sweet, and send portions to those for whom nothing is prepared. For this day is holy to our Lord. Do not sorrow, for the joy of the Lord is your strength." And that brings us to the end of round 2. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. At the end of round 2, here are the results. NUPS-G had 10 points. NUBS had 15 points. GHAMSU had 12 points. I can see that NUBS and NUPS-G have made substitutions. Can you please introduce yourselves to us?
I am the person of John Sadie.
Welcome, John.
I'm in the person of Ejari Bevlin.
Welcome, Bevlin. So round 3, true or false. In this round, I'll be making statements to each team, and you have to tell me whether the statement is true or false. A correct answer is worth 2 points. An incorrect answer will result in a deduction of 1 point. A team can decide not to answer this question, at which point it may be passed on to the next team, which rings their bell first. Same rules on points and deductions apply to a passed-on question. Best wishes to all teams. NUPS-G, your question. According to the book of Judges, 13 cities in total were allocated to the Merarites. True or false?
False.
That's correct. NUBS. Manasseh initially failed to drive out the inhabitants that were assigned to them, but when their hands were strengthened, they drove them out completely from the land. True or false?
False.
That's correct. GHAMSU. The total number of the cities of refuge was equal to the total number of the cities of the Levites. True or false?
False.
That's correct. NUPS-G, your question. Asa, Jehoshaphat, Uzziah, and Jotham were part of the kings of Israel who did rise in the sight of God during their reign. True or false?
It's true.
That's incorrect. NUPS, Jehu, Zechariah, Hoshea, and Joash were part of the kings of Judah who did evil in the sight of God during their reign. True or false?
False.
That's correct. GHAMSU, Hezekiah, Jehu, Jehoaz, and Pekah were kings of Israel and Judah who did evil in the sight of God during their reign. True or false?
False.
That's correct. NUPS-G. NUPS-G, your question. The first census of Israel, which is recorded in the book of Numbers, happened in the second year after they had come out of the land of Egypt, the 3rd day of the 3rd month. True or false?
False.
That's correct. NUPS, your question. The first census of Israel, which is recorded in the book of Numbers, happened in the 2nd year after they had come out of the land of Egypt, the 2nd day of the 1st month. True or false?
False.
That's correct. GHAMSU, your question. The first census of Israel, which is recorded in the book of Numbers, happened in the 2nd year after they had come out of the land of Egypt, the 1st day of the 1st month. True or false?
False.
That's correct. NUPS-G, your question. The mechanisms through which Jesus healed various people involved the usage of saliva on at least 3 different occasions. True or false?
It's false.
That's incorrect. NUPS. The 3 occasions on which Jesus used saliva in the process of healing people is recorded in at least 2 of the synoptic gospels. True or false?
False.
That's correct. GHAMSU. 2 of the healings performed by Jesus, which involve the usage of saliva, are recorded in John, and the 3rd one is recorded in Mark. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Preamble to all teams, listen carefully. In the list of the 10 oldest patriarchs to have lived, from the least age to the greatest, where 10th is the least age and 1st the greatest. NUPS-G. The 10th, the 9th, and the 8th are Enoch, Mahalalel, and Lamech in that order. True or false?
It's true.
That's incorrect. NUBS. NUBS, the 4th, the 3rd, and the 2nd are Adam, Noah, and Jared in that order. True or false? That's incorrect. GHAMSU. GHAMSU. The seventh, the sixth, and the fifth are Enos, Seth, and Kenan in that order. True or false?
False.
That's correct. Preamble indicates the following statements are true or false concerning happenings in the book of Acts. NUPS-G, the healing of the lame man by Peter and John, the death of Ananias and Sapphira, as well as the death of Herod by the smiting of the Lord. By the smiting of the Lord, all happened in Jerusalem. True or false?
It's true.
That's correct. NUBS, the healing of Aeneas by Peter, the miraculous deliverance of Peter from prison by an angel, as well as the raising of Dorcas back to life, all happened at Jerusalem. True or false?
False.
That's correct. GHAMSU, the casting out of the spirit of divination by Paul, the deliverance of Paul and Silas from prison with an earthquake, and the restoration of life of Eutychus by Paul, all happened in Philippi. True or false?
True.
That's incorrect. NUPS-G, according to Revelation chapter 8, after the second angel sounded his trumpet, hail and fire mingled with blood were thrown to the earth, burning a lot of trees and green grass. True or false?
It's true.
That's incorrect. NUPS, according to Revelation chapter 8, after the fourth angel sounded his trumpet, 1/3 of the sun, the moon, and the stars were struck and became darkened. True or false?
False.
That's incorrect. GHAMSU, according to Revelation chapter 9, after the fifth angel sounded his trumpet, a star fell from heaven to the earth, and the star was given the key to the bottomless pit. True or false? Bonus? Anyone? So the answer is true. Last set for this round. NUPS-G. Solomon was the sole author of the entire book of Proverbs. True or false?
False.
That's correct. NUPS. The feast King Ahasuerus held for all people who were present in Shushan, from great to small, lasted for 14 days. True or false?
False.
That's correct. GHAMSU. The feast King Ahasuerus held for his officials and servants lasted for 100 days. True or false?
False.
That's correct. And that brings us to the end of round 3.
time of the day when you're just settling in. You know, mid-morning, brunch time. You know your day is going to be just amazing once you're tuned in to your number one Christian radio, Sweet Melodies 94.3 FM. It's toe-tapping Sweet Melodies. Just the right groove and great vibes for your morning. Tune in from 9:30 a.m. to 11 a.m. every weekday on Sweet Melodies FM 94.3. Make a date. Toe-tapping Sweet Melodies. Music so sweet, you can't help but tap your feet.
End of round 3. Here are the results. NUPS-G had 14 points. GHAMSU had 23 points. And NUBS had 25 points. Now to the final round, round 4, riddles. In this round, there are 4 riddles. A set of clues will be read out to all teams on each riddle, and you have to draw my attention on your readiness to answer by ringing your bell. Shall we hear your bells, please? Yes, NUPS-G. Thank you. The first to answer rightly wins the points for that riddle. A riddle solved on the first clue is worth 5 points. A riddle solved on the second clue is worth 4 points. A riddle solved on the third or any other number of clues will be worth 3 points. If a team wrongly answers a riddle, you will be out of that particular riddle until the next. Best wishes to all teams. First riddle. I am one of the grand descendants of Noah, born to a man who lived for less than 500 years. The meaning of my name may suggest to you that I either initiated a separation or division, but there is no such record of me in the scriptures. I am a notable personality in the sense that a landmark event. Yes, NUPS-G. That's incorrect. So I'll continue. I was on the third clue. I am a notable personality in the sense that a landmark event which changed the course of the entire world is referenced to me. My connection to Jesus is affirmed in Luke's. Yes, GHAMSU.
Shame.
That's incorrect. My connection to Jesus is affirmed in Luke's record of the genealogy. I have a brother whose name is also mentioned in the scriptures, and it was during my time that the earth was divided. Who am I? NUPS.
Enoch.
That's incorrect. The right answer is Peleg. Second riddle. I am an offering ordained for redemption and protection. I am defined in terms of money or mass. I can be considered irregular, because I am not actually listed with the offerings well known to many. I have strict rules for the rich and the poor, and applicable only to a specific age bracket. In the preparation of the tabernacle of Moses, I was the main means of provision of the silver that was put to use. Only persons who registered in the census were required to offer me. Who am I? Yes, GHAMSU. That's incorrect. Okay, although your time is up, NUPS-G, give it a try.
The trespass offering.
No. I am half a shekel. Third riddle. I am a region of great significance, located along the border of Edom and Israel. I am a compound name suggested to mean the holy place of the desert of wandering. Apart from the victory story concerning Father Abraham, which happened in the book of Genesis, my name has more memories of failure, denial, contentions, plagues, tests, and deaths, which even affected Moses and Aaron. For many years I was the camping site for the people of Israel in the Exodus. The men who left the camp for scouting.
Param.
NUPS-G.
Param.
That's incorrect. I'm continuing. The men who left the camp for scouting failed to believe that God would give them the promised land. Moses also failed to sanctify the Lord before the children of Israel in the waters of Meribah. I am the very same region where Miriam died and was buried. Who am I? Yes, NUBS. Kadesh Barnea is the right answer. Last riddle. Last riddle. We are members of the 12 apostles with an interesting relationship between us. Although a relationship is not explicitly stated like some of the apostles who were known to be brothers, there is some evidence to suggest that we were probably brothers too. The confusion arises from the fact that a particular name has been identified as the name of our father. Some people say the name identified as our father is the same person, making us brothers. Others also believe that they are two separate individuals with the same name, coincidentally making us unrelated by blood. The name of our supposed father is Alphaeus. Who are we? Yes, NUBS.
James and Thaddeus.
Yes, NUPS-G.
James and Thaddeus.
That's incorrect. The right answer, we are James and Matthew. And that brings us to the end of the round 4 and the end of the contest. back, ladies and gentlemen, at the end of the grand finale of the UDS Championship. Here are the results. NUPS-G had 14 points. GHAMSU had 23 points. And NUBS emerged as the winners of this contest with 25 points. Congratulations, NUBS. Congratulations to all of you, NUPS-G and GHAMSU. Hello, viewers. Thank you for staying with us in this contest and the entire UDS-NYC Championship. We believe you have learned a lot about the Bible and also had some fun. This program was brought to you by the National Bible Quiz Project, the Bible Society of Ghana, and the Student Christian Council, UDS-NYC. It was proudly sponsored by Swiss Music Pro Audio, Ghana's leading musical instrument store, Fortune Ghana, Jamal, Pen TV, and Swiss Melodies FM. Join us again next time when we bring you the next institutional championship. My name is Janet Dansoa, your quiz mistress, and it's bye. Thank you.
Wonderful, wonderful. Can we put our hands together for all our contestants who participated in today's championship? I believe you can do better than that. I believe you can do better than that. In fact, today has been wonderful and we've learned a lot. And other than the things that we have learned about the Bible, there is one thing that I believe we are all taking away. There is so much more we have to learn. There is so much that was said here, we had no idea. Some of us were doing, is it in the Bible? Is it in the Bible? So I believe we have to go back and start paying more attention to the Bible, to the content of the Bible, because Paul told Timothy that that is how he will be able to live. So we want to and the certificates to our contestants. So I'll call the teams in in ascending order of magnitude. First, we'll call the third place team. In fact, as they come, please put your hands together for them. That's NUPS-G UDS-NYC, National Union of Presbyterian Students, Nyankpala Campus, for being the second runners-up of today's championship. I believe you can do better than that. You can do better than that. I'm not sure. I said I believe you can do better than that. That's clap. So they will receive certificates. They will receive a cash prize. I want to call Mr. Thomas, the SCC Vice Chair for NUBS for UDS Nyankpala Campus, to present the certificates to the NUPS-G contestants. So I think I have Mr. Thomas Kofi Doke. In fact, this guy was very impressive today. He was so impressive. Let's put our hands together for him as he receives the certificates. We have Mr. Samson Ziblim Napro. Oh, I believe the clapping can go on. I believe the clapping can go on. Wonderful. We also have Mr. John Seidu. Mr. John Seidu. In fact, let's put our hands together for them once again. I want to call Mr. Jonas to help me present to the second place team, Ghana Methodist Students Union, University of Development Studies, Nyankpala Campus Local, GHAMSU UDS-NYC Local. Oh, you can do it better. You can do better than that. You can do better than that. GHAMSU, there is a third person. Where is the third contestant for GHAMSU? All right. So we are presenting the certificate. We have Peter Bangnebil. This guy was also very impressive today. So impressive. Okay, we have Henry Nanakusi. Henry Nanakusi. And then we have Dazi Daniel. Dazi Daniel. Now I want our quiz mistress to do us the honor to present the certificates, the plaque to our winners. So with a round of applause, and I think they deserve it, a standing ovation, can we welcome National Union of Baptist Students, NUBS UDS Local. They have made the Ghana Baptist Convention proud. Oh, you can do better, you can do better. Keep clapping for them. Two guys and a lady. The lady whose answers were only false in the true or false round. Such a wonderful team. So first we'll present the plaque. First we'll present the certificates. First we'll present the certificates to them. First, we'll present the certificates. We have Sebe Donko Gideon. Then we have Ejare Bevlin. Wow. Then we have Maskodi Israel. Next, we'll present the plaque to them. Presents the plaque from the NBQ Ghana, National Bible Quiz Project, and the Bible Society of Ghana to say congratulations for winning the University of Development Studies Nyankwala campus. We also have products from our sponsors, Jama Soap and Wilma Ghana's Fortune. So Fortune is giving them box of spread, Fortune spread, and they are also receiving a box of Jama soap and detergents from our sponsors, Jama Ghana. Turn it. They will also receive a cash prize. Can we put our hands together for them once again? In fact, they have been impressive.